So Taylor Swift has announced her new album, The Life of a Showgirl. It's her 12th studio album, coming after the Tortured Poets Department that was released last year. I'm going to be covering what it might sound like, how it's going to be promoted, some of the topics she might be touching on, and plenty more. Straight off the bat, I have 2 disclaimers. I'm not a mega Swiftie, but I will be referring to the Swiftie Authority body of knowledge for some of these questions. There will be no Easter eggs. I'm not about Easter eggs. I don't have time to play that game. Number 2, I'm not on Twitter. If you're on there, you've probably already seen lots of coverage about TS12 and those maniacs. They've probably gone over every detail already. Your impression of Taylor Swift and your narrative about her is going to be different to mine with this album and with her whole career, because I'm not in every corner of Reddit and Twitter, etc. That's just for the chronically online crowd. Let's jump in. So first off, she announced it on this podcast. I don't care about this podcast. I don't care about Travis Kelce and his brother Luke Bryan, whoever, Travis Scott, Luke Bryan, Kelce, whoever these football sport people are. Anyway, that's where she announced it. Listening to that podcast was not fun. I'm just going to say that. But I'm happy for Taylor that she's found this relationship with Travis Kelce. And they do seem compatible in some ways. But obviously there's a lot of business and PR that's involved here. So this was how she launched the album announcement on the podcast. And around the same time as that, Travis had a magazine cover spread with GQ. So it says, America's Sweetheart, Travis Kelce. Not Taylor. Travis is America's sweetheart now. Because that's how society is right now, hey? So that's an obvious tactic. It's a PR thing. Launching Travis and Taylor's relationship. Well, they already did that a year ago. But now this is the time where Taylor has fully incorporated it into her album campaign. When you hear about this album, you're seeing her and Travis together. That's not a coincidence. And Taylor Nation also teased this week before Taylor announced. And then we got the podcast announcement. So it was obvious that this has been orchestrated and planned, of course. One thing I did want to mention is that some people thought Travis Kelce's GQ spread was conservative coded, like a bit Republican, MAGA leading, and I can understand why they would say that. This swamp vibe he's got going on here, a bit like Lana Del Rey's husband. Taylor and Travis, and probably that brother as well, are connected with some MAGA people. It is what it is. I don't have a lot to say about it. I just wanted to acknowledge that since Travis has done this photo shoot and Taylor has appeared on the podcast with the two of them, that is definitely catering to that audience. Yeah. The thing is, Taylor herself, I really don't think she is Republican or that she has bad values, but I do think that she's not going to clarify or separate herself from that now, because this is just where society is at, you know. We've got frickin' Sydney Sweeney over here being the MAGA American sweetheart herself, waving her little MAGA flag with her jeans. You know, I don't even want to talk about that, but that's where we're at, and Taylor is going to play into it because she's a businesswoman. And being associated with these people can get some of that market back for her that she kind of lost with Trump and who she has showed support to in the past. Moving on from that, what does the album sound like? So I've got some quotes here from Taylor. She said these in the podcast episode, but I got the quotes from Pop Crush and Parade.com. So she says that this album was made during the Eras tour and that it's documenting what it felt like to be in that moment. Her as a showgirl, kind of on top of the world. This album is about what was going on behind the scenes in my inner life during this tour, which was so exuberant and electric and vibrant. It just comes from the most infectiously joyful, wild, dramatic place I was in my life. She uses the word effervescence, which is like joyful, kind of sparkly, bubbly. If you think like the way that they market Coca-Cola and crap like that, and champagne. Then this other page here says it was made with Max Martin and Shellback, who are her frequent collaborators. They say we can expect a big, shiny, radio-friendly pop album. I'm going to be questioning that a bit today, because clearly she's returning to pop, but I do have some reservations considering what her previous albums have sounded like. Folklore, Evermore, Midnights, even like 1989 Vault tracks and Red Vault tracks, like it's all very wordy and kind of muted because of that's how Jack Antonoff produced. But she's not with Jack, so it is going to make a big difference. But she's still going to be that wordsmith. It just comes from the most infectiously joyful, wild, dramatic place I was in my life. A collection of bangers. And then Travis said, this album is going to make you dance. So we're expecting pop, upbeat bangers. I'm thinking very much like a continuation or even a bit of a retread of 1989. I wanted to touch on Shellback specifically, which is one of the producers of this. He is like one of the many guys that Max Martin has taken on, and Max has mentored him. But Shellback has the Midas touch. He's produced If You Seek Amy by Britney Spears. He's produced for Pink, 3 by Britney, Kesha's Animal album, Avril Lavigne Goodbye Lullaby album, so What the Hell, and I Love You, songs that Max did as well, Britney Spears Femme Fatale, I Wanna Go, Maroon 5, Cher Lloyd first and second album, then with Taylor he's done We Are Never Getting Back Together, I Knew You Were Trouble, Christina Aguilera, Your Body, that's a freaking banger. If you like gay pop, you should definitely listen to Your Body. It is the loudest song ever recorded. Extremely loud. Problem by Ariana. Then on 1999, like almost the full album, Blank Space, Style, Shake It Off, Bad Blood, Wildest Dreams, New Romantics, Talking Body by Tove Lo, Run Away With Me by Carly Rae Jepsen. So yeah, this dude, and of course Reputation. He did a lot of tracks on there too. Shellback is the shit. He's freaking, I don't want to say a genius. It's like, because I don't think he's really the lead in melodies or lyrics or ideas even. It's just he knows how to produce and make them sound so slick and shiny, and the qualities that make a banger, he knows how to do it. Shellback is the guy, so we stand Shellback in this house. And of course Max Martin. Obviously Max is the GOAT. I can't deny it, but I will say I am not feeling Max Martin as much these days. Like what he did with Ariana Grande on Eternal Sunshine, that was not for me. It was very muted. There was a lack of color, like kind of gray, colorless production. A bit vibey and dreamy, but lacking a clear direction. Just these little mellow synths. Not much percussion or anything. No rhythm. It was very rhythmically uninclined. And I love me some rhythm and some boom, boom, boom. And Taylor is actually better for that. So I do trust with Taylor a part of this and Shellback that hopefully Max Martin can be course corrected. I don't think Taylor herself is going to be controlled much. Like in the past, Max was the leader of this power dynamic. Like, of course he wanted to bring out the best in Taylor and he would give her some creative freedom, but if he didn't like something, he would still get the final word a lot of the time. At least that's how it happened with everyone else, like Britney and Ariana, Jessie J, everyone else he's worked with. So I'm thinking to some extent he was a very big part in making Blank Space and Style, everything else, the major pop songs that they are. And I'm concerned that now Taylor has the power the most, because it doesn't matter what he thinks now. She's freaking on top of the world. So if she likes an idea or something, if she wants to sing about little kittens taptoeing in the Bowery, he can't stop her. So we shall see how that ends up, because I don't love Taylor's musical intuition these days because she has moved away from hooks a bit. The thing is, it depends on each album, but with this, it seems like it's going to be light, right? Joyful, fun stuff. So without that gritty substance that was in Folklore, Evermore, and Tortured Poets, without that, the hardships and the struggles, I'm concerned that there's not going to be enough meat. But this is what the people wanted, and actually, Taylor does like to give the people what they want. She knew that we wanted a shorter album, she knew we wanted bangers and Max Martin, and she's giving it to us. So that is amazing, of course. Now, we did get a leaked booklet picture showing the album credits and the lyrics and the track list. So with that, some people have taken their magnifying glass and have found some instruments. This might not be 100% accurate, but I think it probably is. So according to what they say from that booklet leak, there's live instrument playing on this album. Quite a lot of instruments shown. Banjo, upright bass, accordion, flute, clarinet, trombone, tuba, pedal steel guitar, violin, baritone sax, tenor sax, alto sax, English horn, upright piano, orchestra, a Wurlitzer piano. So there's a lot going on here. Some very like rinky-dink kind of bouncy, quirky production that's going to be happening. And what this instantly makes me think of is Shake It Off, because the production of Shake It Off is very organic is actually the word I would use. That it's got this live, whatever that main brass instrument is. I think it's a trombone that does the main beat and hook in that song. And it sounds like very dull, actually, is the word I would use. Like, Shake It Off is this big fun pop song, but the production itself holds a lot of open space and is quite flat, I would say. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting looking at this baritone sax and alto sax and like English horn and piano and upright bass. Like we're getting this kind of funky, jazzy incorporation, which makes sense with this Showgirl theme. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out with Max and Shellback, who are much more synth and electronic production oriented. Incorporating these live instruments is going to give it a really fun and fresh but also old school feel. So here is the leaked picture. It's not the greatest quality, so you would have to zoom in really far to see these lyrics and writing credits, etc. But you can see the track list at least, though we do have that now, of course, with the back picture. And just wanted to include this as part of the story because this picture is important in a lot of the discussion that I'm going to have from this point on. But yeah, so this leaked along with the cover and a few other pictures which turned out to be real. So now we're going to go into the lyrics, what Taylor might be talking about on this album. So obviously she's described it as fun, joyous. She mentioned there's going to be some of the storytelling elements of Folklore and Evermore, some of which she had on Midnights as well, and The Tortured Poets. So it'll be interesting to see how she can do that kind of third-person storytelling on these more condensed, upbeat pop songs. But she said it happened naturally, so yeah. So I guess maybe we could expect a character, like there was Betty, Marjorie, Nobody, No Crime. There's heaps of songs that have included these fictional characters. The Last American Dynasty, there's going to be that kind of character storytelling. Probably The Fate of Ophelia, the opening track, is going to be one of those. But now we're getting into the alleged stuff that may or may not pan out, but is based on that booklet leak. So people are saying that there could be a diss to Charli XCX, because Charli had a song, Everything is Romantic, from her album Brat, and also on Brat she had a song, Sympathy is a Knife, with lyrics about Taylor Swift. So it says here that some of the lyrics could be on Taylor's song, Actually Romantic. Heard you call me boring Barbie when the coast got you ranting. You're glad he ghosted me, meaning Maddie Healy, because Charli's associated with the 1975 Maddie Healy's band. Wrote me a song saying it makes you sick to see my face. Sympathy is a Knife. Some people might be offended, but it's actually sweet. That sounds exactly like Taylor. That sounds like something she would say. All the time you've spent on me, it's honestly wild. All the effort you've put in, it's actually romantic. Yeah, so this is a thing that may or may not be happening, where Taylor is releasing a song that's taking a dig at Charli XCX. If this is legit, it's PR. I am certain of this because Taylor is petty, but she's quite mature when it comes to how she conducts herself in the music industry. She doesn't go after people unless she feels she has a reason for it. Like, especially now, 10 years on from that Bad Blood saga, where the Taylor of now is more mature, she's lived more, and she's going to pick her targets very carefully. Anyway, this is PR because Taylor and Charli XCX have a long history, almost 10 years. Like, Charli opened for the Reputation tour, so Taylor has known who she is for a long time, and she's openly a fan of her. Like, she said just last year that she really respects Charli and likes her music and respects how Charli has taken her career creatively. And then Charli has openly said that, like, yeah, the song is about Taylor, but it's more about my insecurities. Like, it's not that Taylor is bad, it's that I'm bad because I'm jealous of Taylor. That's kind of the message of Sympathy is a Knife. And Taylor communicated that. No, Charli communicated that to Taylor already. And we know that because it's in articles. So we know that these two are on the same page about things, regardless of Maddie Healy and whoever else. So if Taylor decides to release a response song now, it's purely a PR move to get the people talking, because people will take this story even if we know that it doesn't make any sense. People are willing to just watch and make TikToks about it, about this fake drama. So I get that part of it. Oh, and I did want to say that Charlie might agree to this because it's still beneficial for Charlie. It gives more promotion to her career in the Brat era, having her associated with Taylor in these big headlines. But if this actually is true, I think it would be terrible for the stans, the Swifties and Charlie's fans, because there's some of the younger and the more deranged ones. If this does turn into a stan war, they're gonna really go at it on Twitter and stuff. Maybe in real life too, this fight between Taylor and Charlie, which benefits them, could have a really bad impact on these Twitter kids, these young gays and all that. So I really hope this isn't true, because I don't want to see Charlie fans and Taylor fans get bullied to a really severe level because they think Charlie is wrong about it or that Taylor is wrong. So yeah, please don't do this, ladies. We shall see. Next, people are also saying that there could be an Olivia diss track. So this one is the song Father Figure. These are some of the lyrics that they found from that booklet. You can see there's question marks because it's really hard to read that photo to make anything out. I'm not going over that photo. I don't care that much. I haven't got the time or the eyes or the energy. But let's look at these lyrics. You remind me of a younger me. So that's very obvious what that means. I'll be your father figure. I drink that brown sugar, make deals with the devil because my dick's bigger. It sounds like Taylor, to be honest. Leave it with me, I protect the family. I protect the family if I pay the check. My dear project. So people are saying this could be about Olivia, kind of like in a all these bitches are my sons way. Taylor is the mother, she has the career that has allowed for people like Olivia Rodrigo to flourish because Olivia's writing and connection with her young female fans is similar to what Taylor did. I understand that, but this just doesn't seem legit. I think it's more likely about Scott Borchetta. He was the executive of Big Machine Records, whatever it is. Whoever Taylor was with before when she did the country albums and Red and Reputation, who then sold her masters and wouldn't let her buy her masters. So that guy is Scott Borchetta, and he has been with Taylor since she was quite young, since she was just a teenager when she released her first album, and she went through artist development before that. So he's known her since she was a kid. Either way, this song has gender flipping because it's about a son and a father, I think. Oh no, in the bridge here it says, my dear boy. So this song is about a son and a father, but it's gender flipping because Taylor Swift wrote this song. So whether it's about her or not, it still incorporates her idea of the world. So it's about power dynamics and gender dynamics of men and women, which Taylor loves to play with in all of her songs. But it's most likely that she is the boy here, and the father figure is Scott Borchetta, who is a dick, basically. That's what it's saying. He can protect the family, this love is pure profit, I'll be your father figure, you remind me of a younger me. And so that also acknowledges Taylor's business sense and that she is also money hungry and power hungry. But this isn't about Olivia Rodrigo. That just doesn't track. Because they've never had that relationship in the first place. We don't know what has happened with them behind closed doors, but I think it's unlikely that they've spent more than 2 or 3 occasions actually getting to know each other. They are more like strangers, and yeah, that's a whole other story. Also, this song has a George Michael sample. His song is also called Father Figure from the 90s, I think. Now, there's one feature on this album, and that is Sabrina Carpenter. In regards to Sabrina, this is like lyrics, the sound of the album, the era in general, the PR, like this Sabrina topic incorporates all of that. So let me elaborate. Taylor loves the song Espresso. That's just my guess. I think that is why this has started, because Taylor was on the Eras tour, which is a key part of how this album was formed. And then Sabrina was out there doing her little showgirl shtick. I do think Taylor loves what Sabrina did with Espresso and Short and Sweet, the album. And now Taylor wants to nibble on those nachos a bit. Nibble on some of those Sabrina Carpenter extra small nachos. So if she does, and if she incorporates Sabrina into the album overall, you're going to hear it vocally, like that kind of gentle talk, sing. I heard you like to go around. Well, maybe we could get it down together. That thing that Sabrina does. Taylor might pull that out on a couple of tracks, I'm sure. You might hear it sonically as well, because these songs are going to be a bit rustic, maybe honky-tonky kind of country or possibly jazz funky thing going on. Sabrina's got a bit of that with her country sound, and like her productions have this dusty quality to them, I would say. And I think Taylor is going to have some of that for sure. Similar to Shake It Off, that kind of flat dustiness with upbeat tempo. Yeah, upbeat band arrangements, like live instrument playing, incorporated into these fun little cute and catchy, quirky pop songs. And of course, Sabrina is here herself as a feature, and it's also the title track, The Life of a Showgirl. Now that makes sense. That is explicitly acknowledging that Sabrina is the showgirl, which Taylor is as well by virtue of being on the Eras tour, right? And Taylor is also a theater geek at heart. She was in Cats, which we don't talk about. So according to that leaked picture, Sabrina is not credited as a writer on that song. So fans are saying that she's going to be singing backup and not really a feature on the song. I can believe that, since Taylor does seem to have this trend of releasing songs with great features who are just on backup vocals and you don't get to hear them. They're just whispering, like Chris Stapleton, Lana Del Rey, Maren Morris. So I can imagine the song being like that, where Sabrina's just cooing in the background, unfortunately. But maybe we could get a more Sabrina Carpenter remix down the line. So the concept of being a showgirl is definitely in Sabrina's territory, like more than Taylor's, I would say. Like it's a bit sexy and fun. And so bringing in Sabrina is an extremely strategic move on Taylor's part. So the reason for this is that if she brings in Sabrina, then people can't call Taylor a copycat, copying Sabrina, because Sabrina's here on the album. So that means that Sabrina clearly approves of what Taylor is doing. Now, on top of this, bringing Sabrina as a feature was a good way to start that communication between Sabrina and Taylor. Because these two know each other, but like they're not close friends. So Taylor needed a way to acknowledge to Sabrina that she was going to do this showgirl era with music that is inspired by Sabrina without making it this awkward legal drama, I guess. So instead of starting an email that's like, hey, I'm just gonna use your style, instead of doing that, She goes, hey, want to feature on my album? That sounds like a much better offer, right? So then Sabrina's like, yeah, of course I do. And then Sabrina gets to see what the style of the album is like, what it's called, because it is the song title is the album title. So instantly Sabrina's like, okay, Showgirl, got it. And Taylor's like, I want you on this song because you're the showgirl. And Sabrina's like, yeah, thank you. Do you see what I mean? Like, I've simplified that a bit. But this would be so much more awkward if Sabrina was the elephant in the room. So it was very strategic of Taylor to bring Sabrina in to be like, yes, Sabrina has been doing this showgirl thing. Here she is, like we are allies, creatively and business as well. Because that's ultimately what it is. This collaboration between Taylor and Sabrina is a business partnership. But since it is the title track and the tone and imagery of the era as well, I wouldn't be surprised if Sabrina is going to pop up more than once. Just like Travis Kelce, like Travis is going to be probably the topic of some of the songs that Taylor writes about. She's going to write about Travis a bit here and there. He might pop up in a music video. They've done this podcast already. If there's a tour down the line, I'm sure Travis might be involved in that too. And then same thing for Sabrina here. They've done this collab as the song, but that's just the start of it. I'm sure Sabrina will have some kind of social media involvement, maybe a music video or a performance together. There'll be something, I'm sure. So Sabrina is a part of this era. She's not just a part of the song. That's the point I wanted to make here. And it's a business partnership. And some other examples of these business partnerships, not friendships. Like, they're on friendly terms, but it's business. Other examples of business partnerships with Taylor would be Beyonce and Taylor. Like, think of that picture of them together at the cinema when Beyonce had Renaissance, the film, and Taylor had the Eras Tour film. Now, seeing that pic of them together was a big deal, right? Because it's these two very powerful women who have the busiest schedules in the world, but manage to find themselves together to sit, just the two of them in this theater, was creating a clear statement. And it's not, hey, we're best friends and we love to do sleepovers and karaoke and shit. That was not the message. The message was very clearly, this is PR, we are business partners, we both occupy this space creatively and business. So we are going to support each other. We are not against each other. If we work together, we will make more money. That's the bottom line of this. So the way that Beyonce and Taylor conducted themselves is now what Sabrina and Taylor are doing, because they occupy the same space in pop music. So yeah, if you think of business partners, there's Taylor and Sabrina Carpenter, Beyonce, even Ice Spice, who you don't see that much or think about, or I really try not to think about her, but she does have a business partner relationship with Taylor. And if you want to know more about that, feel free to drop a comment and I could do a whole video about Taylor and her business partnerships, if that is something that you would like to see. So then the visuals. So the album, The Life of a Showgirl, and that's the cover. It has some visual appeal. It's definitely a bit confusing for me, but the other pictures, they're a gag. I mean, come on. We've got her in this showgirl outfit, then her on the theater chairs. I love that with the slick back hair, the very minimal, and the fishnets, red lip. You know Taylor loves a red lip. That picture with the dog is awesome. I feel like it's really showing a different side to Taylor. And then the ultimate gag, this green picture. I love this green lighting one, which is one of the album covers, of course. I wish she had chosen that green one as the default album cover. But that effect with the little chopped pixely border, whatever they've done to these pictures that turns them into the album covers, it's a bit odd, I'm not gonna lie. And the orange glitter sparkle things, okay. I'm going to trust the process because I think the Midnight's cover ended up working pretty well, as did all the albums before that. She has a very good success rate when it comes to album covers, so let's trust the process. And then along with that, we've got these other photo shoot pics. The Showgirl outfit with all these big feathers and the little black bob, and then that picture, the picture where she's posing with the orange stage behind her. I don't know how else to describe it, but that pose that she's pulling, obviously she can't quite pull it off. Like, she's just not that girl in terms of modeling. It's the way that she carries herself and her physicality in general. Like, obviously she's not on the same tier as like Lady Gaga or Beyonce in terms of modeling, but that's fine. She still looks amazing. It's still a good picture, but I can understand why they didn't choose it as an album cover, because it is just a bit awkward, I think, which you can see on the other picture with that outfit too, where she's sitting on the ground. But I love, love, love the pink feather pic with the black bob. That's amazing. Wouldn't be surprised if that becomes another variant physical edition cover. And then this one with the chair is also great. Love the vibe. There's a lot of different vibes, I think, that she's going for here. Different color palettes, different looks, and I'm loving this variety for her. I think it's the right time to get bold and sexy, show a bit more skin, and to put on a show like the Eras Tour did, and to incorporate some of these cabaret, showgirl, burlesque elements into the whole package. But yeah, does the sound match the visuals? Well, we'll have to wait and see. I am confused about particularly the main album cover that she's picked. In the interview, she described that as after the show. The showgirl gets off stage and starts to like relax and take off her makeup and such. That is the moment that is being depicted on the standard album cover. I guess she's in a bathtub. I don't know why she's still in the costume. It's a little confusing to me, but trusting the process, the color palette of that, like the cool green, bluey tones with this up-tempo music, joyful, exuberant, electric, vibrant. Like, I don't see this electric, vibrant thing depicted in this album cover. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that I don't fully get it, but I'm willing to have an open mind when this album comes, and hopefully the cover and the visuals will make sense. But also this sound is, there's going to be some fun goofiness and like organic instruments and all that. Yeah, definitely some goofiness with like the upright bass, saxophones, like kind of cheeky, playful elements, along with maybe a bit of dramatic sexiness of the brass, like the saxophones, the trombone. So I am curious to see how she ties these elements together. Like fun and sexy or fun and goofy and vintage. I just don't see any of that in this green picture. And like the other green picture that I love, that one at least is like very clearly showgirl cabaret. It's very serious and dramatic, but it doesn't look like fun or warm or summery. Like, I think there's supposed to be kind of summery night vibes to this music. But yeah, we'll see. So I have a lot more to discuss, but this ended up being so much more involved than I expected. So I think I'm gonna have to do a part 2 for this. Stay tuned for a part 2. It'll probably be out very soon, like next few days or next week. And in that, I still have a lot to talk about. It's going to address the amount of songs on the album, if there will be a tour, if she's going to do singles before the album or after the album, and if there's going to be variants. So stay tuned for part 2, and thank you for watching.